this is Cindy from New Hampshire. Thank you for coming to this video. I am in New Hampshire and it is 51 degrees and September 17th today. And welcome to my video. Thank you so much for coming. I started these live chats so that I could share the beautiful weather in New Hampshire and the leaves changing, because as I drive to work, I just really love looking at the beauty around me, and it's a really beautiful drive. And I think it really stands out to me because as a mom of 13 and as a person who's usually tired in the morning, I didn't come out in the morning drive for many years, and so it still catches me by surprise at how beautiful it is in the morning. I'm not really a morning person, so I'm sure I missed a lot of beauty in the mornings. Actually, I live not too far from the ocean, and one of my boys had a job that was near the ocean, a town kind of on that side near the coast. And I drove him to work one day, this was several years ago, and I said, you know, I'm so close to the beach, why don't I just swing by the beach and see what it looks like this early in the morning? And it was so gorgeous, and I had some kids with me, and we got out of the car and we just really enjoyed the morning air at the beach, and there was nobody there, you know, so I was like, I've been missing this like my whole life. So actually, during the summer when I have time off from work, I will take a morning or two here and there to go to the beach, and it's about a 40-minute drive. I will go to the beach. I have some videos actually on my channel of just being at the beach. We've gone to see the sunrise and just take a walk and take some time to pray, take some time to think about the Lord, and to just take in the beauty of the earth, you know. And sometimes in the hustle and bustle of, you know, making money, trying to stay alive, trying to pay the bills, we get busy and, you know, don't always take a break to look at the beauty around us. So anyway, I'm in New Hampshire. I'm a teacher, and I'm actually driving to school this morning, and I'm thinking about, this is the day that the Lord hath made. We will rejoice and be glad in it. And I just told you I'm not really a morning person. Hey, thank you for coming to my channel. Hey, good morning, Kelly. Enjoy your day. I teach math. Right now I'm teaching 7th and 8th grade math, as well as algebra and geometry. And I have some students, tutoring students as well. I have one tutoring student that is Algebra 1. I have one tutoring student that is geometry, but funny thing is she's taking geometry and Algebra 2 at the same time, which I would not recommend. Excuse me. But she is doing it. And so she pulled a switcheroo. I'm teaching geometry and I have the book, but she came with me to me with questions about Algebra 2, and she doesn't have a book. So last night it was impromptu Algebra 2. Fortunately, I was able to, I knew the topic. So, but Algebra 2 could be variable, so it could be that she touches on things that I haven't done in a while, just depending on what curriculum she has. So hopefully it all works out. So far, so good. But I'm really enjoying the tutoring part, and one-on-one is really so much better than classroom. Excuse me, I have a little cough. And so yeah, the classroom is really difficult because a lot of kids have different levels of math. So trying to teach for the general group and then trying to meet the needs of students that need extra help is really difficult. So I would recommend to parents, get a tutor. I know it's more money. In New Hampshire, we have what we call the Education Freedom Account. You can use that to, if you're a homeschooler, a lot of people use it to go to a private school, but you can also use it for tutors, for, music lessons, anything like that. So I would definitely recommend tutoring if your student struggles, because it's better to learn some math. And sometimes the kids will sit there in the class and they're overwhelmed. They don't want to ask questions. And, the parents figure, hey, it's the teacher's responsibility. But if the teacher only has the student for 45 minutes and the student doesn't want to ask questions, doesn't want to reach out, is embarrassed to, talk to a friend, and doesn't really have the skills to catch up, a tutor is the way to go. I do online tutoring through Zoom, and it works out well because you don't have to worry about the drive. You don't have to worry about gas. You turn on the Zoom, you teach your lesson, and you're done. Like last night, I had my student. It's supposed to be like 45-minute lesson, but it went to an hour. But after an hour, we're done. We're done, and they can pay through, any of the cash online type situations. And it's so much better than having to drive somewhere. I do like in person. I can't say I don't like in person, but I have a lot of ways that I can do, like you can use the whiteboard, you can share your screen. Like last night we used the whiteboard, and I also shared my screen because I have a paper that explains positive and negative numbers and how to manipulate them, because we needed a little refresher on that. And I have a paper that goes along with that, so I shared my screen for that. We can share like your calendar, anything you have on your computer, you can share your screen. You can even share photos. I use Canva a lot, where you can make your slides up ahead of time and then talk about things through Canva. And Canva also has a way to use a whiteboard type situation, and your information is saved. So that's a really good feature also. I had a really good situation yesterday. I was teaching my class. I have 3 remote students. They come in 3 days a week and they are home 2 days a week. So I taught the class on Zoom, recorded the class, and sent it to 2 kids that were absent. So they got to go to the class. Isn't that nice? I'm sure they were really thrilled with that new feature. But at least they weren't, they could be in their PJs, they could watch the video, blow their nose, whatever it was they had to do, and still get caught up on their algebra. So I thought that was a great way to, actually I put them on, I made a new YouTube channel just for my class videos. That way I can save them, and if I, eventually I can use them again if I teach this book again, or I can use it for tutoring, anything like that. So learning is available so much these days. There's no excuse for kids to not learn other than the fact of them not wanting to learn, right? I mean, that's the trick. Motivation. I wish I had had 4 years of motivational skills when I was in college, to tell you the truth. Because teaching math, the hardest part is nobody likes it. A few people like it, but it's really hard to motivate, to make them happy about doing it. And in order to be really good at math, you do have to practice, you do have to take time, you do have to do something. You can't It's not like the teacher explains it some magic way and you all of a sudden know how to do it. I mean, obviously some teachers are better than others, but the truth is you have to, you know, we have a book. I try to help the kids learn how to read the book. We have the book, we have resources, we have, you know, they can come ask me questions, but the real proof of learning is actual doing it. So I recommend, if my students have a hard time with something, do the problems that we did in class again at home. Know the process. That's algebra, you know the process. Learn the vocabulary that goes along with that topic. Practice the processes, and the more you practice, the easier it will get. I have a few sayings that I like to say in class. Number 1. So if I'm doing it on the board and I do that, well, I call them up to the board, and then they're like, oh yeah, I don't know if I can do that. And we kind of coach them through. But when they come up to the board and do it themselves, I love it when they go, oh, I get it. Oh, yeah, okay. That's like music to my ears. And then I also have a TV in my classroom, so I will use my iPad, and I will mirror the iPad, and the kids can write the problems on the iPad. And so I can pass the iPad around and do problems that way. So that's one thing I say. It's always easier when someone else is doing it. That works in a lot of different situations. It also works when people complain and they think they could do a better job at something, and then they try it and they realize, oh, maybe it was better that you did that job. Whatever the case may be. But another saying I like to say in math class is, it's always difficult until it becomes easy. Like even driving, you know? I mean, kids think driving is so hard, and then they get their license, and the first day they act like they're professionals. So it's always difficult until it becomes easy. So, so that works for algebra. And I say these things sometimes, and I'm joking around, and they're like, that is so weird. Why are you even saying that? You know, you do have to have a little bit of a sense of humor in math class. You can't just be all dry bones and, you know, like some of my teachers were. But nowadays, I don't know. It doesn't seem like I can get away with it. I have to wake up and smile and stuff. So anyway, I've also been tutoring my grandson with his reading. So I have a half hour during the day that I can set up. I set up a Zoom call, and I call from the school. I'm at school, he's at home because he homeschools. His mom takes pictures of the book that he's reading, and he reads it to me, and I will help him along if there's any kind of words that he either doesn't know how to pronounce or he doesn't know the meaning of, and we talk about it. And he's reading a book about Freddie the Baker. So his name is Freddie, and he's reading about a Freddie the Baker, and I don't really know. Something about a talent show, and we're kind of in the middle of it. So that's another suggestion for any of you who might be grandmothers. You know, if you want to help your kids with reading, you go ahead and do a Zoom call and practice reading just like you would for a company. You know, I've taught online kids how to speak English, Chinese kids how to speak English, so why not go ahead and, you know, use those skills for my own family, right? And for people that I know. So it's a great way to do it, and then we just do the half hour, and, you know, you can tell, you get started, you make it happy, you know, say some fun things, and do some reading, and have some time together, and he's reading, he just needs practice. So we're working on practicing reading, and it's a lot of fun. So that's a great idea. For those of you who work online, use it in a skill with your own family. So thank you for watching, and thank you for the thumbs up. I can see I have at least one thumbs up. A few visitors. Thank you for coming by. I really appreciate it. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe to my channel. And I did want to just say, I'm aware of what's going on in the news right now. The news, the biggest news right now is the assassination of Charlie Kirk, which was a proponent for free speech. And to be honest with you, I wasn't a follower of him. I mean, I work in my town. I do a lot. I don't have a lot of time I don't listen to mainstream media and things like that. So I knew of him, but I didn't really know him that well. I didn't really follow him. I kind of wished I had now that I know what I know. But I do appreciate, right now I can't even believe that anybody would say that somebody losing their life is something to be happy about. It's just absolutely horrific that anyone would think of such a thing. And many of you who watch me, you know that I had a son who passed away 2 years ago, and he was in an accident. He was skiing, and it's still can keep me up at night, and it feels like it was just yesterday. And how do you keep getting up every day? You just wake up and you say, okay, God gave me breath today. I'm supposed to use it. I'm supposed to do something with it. And I'm going to school. I have kids that have dreams for the future. I have, God promises that he will never leave us nor forsake us. That is in life, and that is in death. He promises not to leave us. And we when we know him as our personal Savior, we can know his presence in our own life. And things happen in this world that we do not understand. And sometimes I think God reminds us that this world is broken, and he created us for his fellowship. When we have fellowship with him, that's a good life. Nothing in this world is going to give us the life of purpose. It's working for the Lord. It's knowing that we are made in his image, that he loves us, that he has a purpose for our life, and that he loves us. He wants us to be with him. And right now I don't have the ability to show you with my camera, but I am looking at the sky right now. It looks so gorgeous. There are clouds, but there's sun shining through the clouds. And that's kind of how life is, The Bible says that we know that all things work together for good to them that love God, to them that are called according to his purpose. Down through history, God has used bad things to show us good his good, that he can be with us in the times of trouble. He can be with us in the sad days. And he wants to be with us. He wants us to, I love the idea that he holds our hand, I'm thinking of a song, there's a song, He Holds My Hand. I love it. Can't really sing it right now. I don't know the tune, but I love the sentiment that he holds my hand. He's holding my hand. He's with me. He loves me. He wants the best for me. He wants me to be happy, and even in our America was built that with the idea that